Awesome.
Okay, we're live. It looks like.
Sweet.
Yeah. So we got 10 albums, right? Is that what we talked about?
I have a little more than that, but
Oh, okay. I
I,
couldn't
I
remember
can
the
I
number.
can always like trim it off.
Nah. If you
There's a
already
few things
prepared
I
them.
didn't really research. I pulled them just in case, but
Yeah, no, that's totally up to you. If it's
yeah,
something that you like, then
cool,
I'm
man. Yeah, we'll just
I'll
play it
listen
by
to
ear.
you. Yeah, so
Um,
we got 10 Canadian albums to talk about. I wouldn't necessarily say these are my top 10. Are they for you? It was hard to do.
yeah, it is hard. I definitely know. I would say not my top 10 for sure.
Yeah, but 10 that you
Um,
really, really love.
oh yeah, they're
Yeah,
they're all bands that I have been into for many years, for the most part.
same
There's
here.
actually no, there's a couple of newer things too.
I think I
Um,
might know one of your newer picks, but we'll see. It's just a total guess.
yeah. Um, Before we start, I just want to say the thumbnail that we put in here
Yeah,
um, is actually it's called Eastern Passage.
yeah,
It's a small little seaside village,
it's pretty
about 10
cool.
minutes from my house.
Yeah, it looks
And
awesome.
my buddy Kyle Davis took the photo. It was like minus 40 degrees Celsius the day he
Jesus
took
Christ.
it, which was
Fuck,
actually only last weekend.
I know.
Yeah, which is not normal. It doesn't usually get that cold here, but there was just this crazy cold front, and like most of Canada experienced it.
Yeah,
Um,
because you
and
guys get that stuff. Like you guys get pretty bad weather sometimes.
yeah, yeah, for sure. And Kyle and I are going to be doing kind of a modern death metal live stream. We don't
Cool.
have a date for that yet, but probably the next few weeks.
Oh,
You're
sweet. Yeah.
welcome to join too if you want.
Okay.
But
I
I'll let
might
you know
have.
more
That'd be
about that.
fun.
Yeah, I'll let you know more about that when we
Cool.
figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if anyone's wondering why we're talking about uh Canadian music, or are all your picks metal, or did you pick any like rock or anything or
I
pop?
do have some rock and
Oh,
punk.
okay.
Like I said, I'm way over 10, so
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. But
if you want to be here
Spencer's
all
from
night.
Canada, so that's why we're doing this.
Yeah,
And I mean, Canada has so many killer bands, like all genres, all across the board, going from some popular ones to a lot of like underground bands, like Quebec has so many good black metal bands that just seems to be their thing. They
yeah.
they seem to just like, I don't know. I have yet to hear a band from that region, a black metal band, that I didn't like. But um, yeah, I mean, my favorite band of all time is Canadian. So,
I
well,
think I know what your favorite band
tied.
is.
My favorite band, tie. I have two. Yeah, it's a tie between two bands, but
Could it be this band?
maybe, maybe it is. Yeah. So this is kind of, I don't know if I'd say this is a series, but it's a thought that I've been wanting to do. I kind of already started as to have a guest on and then talk about albums that are from his either country or his state.
Oh,
So
awesome. Cool.
yeah, I have some other stuff coming because it's cool to see what someone digs up that actually lives there and knows the ropes and stuff. And
Yeah. Oh, I can always show local bands too.
that'd be cool. Yeah, maybe like a
That's probably another stream for another night. But
yeah, or if you have any pulled, you could do them like as an honorable mention. Just to,
yeah, I think I've got a couple here.
yeah, that'd be cool. It's
Yeah.
always cool to hear stuff that like I might not have ever heard of any of them. I probably haven't.
There's one or two you might be familiar with.
Okay,
I probably didn't grab them all actually.
that's
But yeah,
okay.
I definitely have tried to collect a lot of local
Yeah,
releases. And
totally.
I don't have as many as I'd like, but I've got,
Yeah,
decent amount. Yeah.
yeah. If there's a decent local band, I'm all about picking up their stuff. We just haven't had too many, but we've had a few here and there. So
Yeah, it's pretty sporadic here.
yeah.
About like in the 90s there were so many bands here, and
Oh, okay.
it was even hard, and not all of them were amazing, but
Yeah,
definitely like in punk and hardcore and metal, all those genres had maybe 4 or 5 really good bands. So
yeah.
yeah,
Awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, there's just it's just cool to have like local bands that maybe they'll have shows every now and then. You don't have to drive an hour to go see, and you can
exactly.
just just walk over or ride your bike or just a quick car ride.
Yeah,
I'm all about it, but I wish we had more of a scene. But whatever.
Yeah, well, that was then. I mean, now it's
True.
it's not as good, I don't think. It's
True.
still
Yeah.
a band. It's just yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm old, so I don't know
Yeah.
too much.
Well, you want to go first? You want to go with your number? What number are you going to start with? Are you going to do 10 and then maybe do some honorables, or what do you think?
Yeah, we can do that. Sure.
Because I only picked 10, but it was hard. I had to narrow down, and I didn't want. I made a rule for myself to where I wasn't going to include 2 albums from any band because it's not
Okay.
fair to spread it across. It'd be like
Yeah,
5
yeah.
Rush albums,
I
3
was
Voivod. Yeah.
I did grab like the trifecta of Voivod because
You're
I
still
couldn't help
thinking about
myself.
it?
But yeah, let's see. If I have to narrow it down, I'd probably go with okay. Sorry, just one sec here.
No, that's fine. And you don't even have to narrow it down, but I don't want to. If you put work in anything, you don't have to worry about
Uh,
wasting it.
well, let's go with this. I think I got 10 here. So
You think you're not sure yet?
no. Do you know these guys?
I've heard the name. I can't remember if you told me about them or if someone else did.
Yeah. So this is Chevy. And there goes my poster in the background.
Whoops.
Oh, there goes my value. So Chevy, this album's called Celestial Hi-Fi. These guys are from Newfoundland,
Oh, I
and this album came out.
think that's where Dan is from. Cassette Mayhem Dan.
Oh yes. Oh, yeah, there he is.
Yeah, I
Awesome.
thought that's where he's from.
So stoner metal band. They're from St. John's, Newfoundland, and they started up in '93.
Oh,
And this is actually on Rise Above.
oh, damn! I
Um,
love that label.
yeah, like so you already kind of get an idea of what it sounds like.
Yeah,
Um,
always quality from that label. I don't think I've
yeah,
ever heard anything where I was just like, "This is garbage," ever.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And they definitely they're still around actually.
Okay.
I don't think they're like super active, but they're still doing stuff and have
Cool.
been since the early '90s.
I
And
might have heard Martin Popoff talking about it. Either him or do you ever watch Sea of Tranquility? That
yes, I
channel.
think I have seen that channel.
I
Yeah.
think Pete might have showed this album actually. One of those two guys, I'm pretty sure, because they're both into that kind of stuff and that record label too, just like I am.
So yeah, I would highly recommend these guys. This is the only album of theirs I have, but
Is it like a sludge or like a stoner rock type sound or?
definitely stoner rock. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was
Lots
my
of
guess.
riffage, longer songs.
Hell yeah.
Although there's 7 tracks on this, and it's a double album. So yeah,
So 10-15 minute songs probably.
probably yeah. I haven't listened to it in a little while. I didn't listen to everything before I did this, so
No, me
um,
either.
yeah. But yeah, it's a really good album.
Yeah,
Awesome band.
I'm
Yeah,
already interested. Yeah.
yeah. Check them out.
Cool. All right. I didn't grab my stuff because my physical stuff, just because I still haven't unpacked everything
Oh
from
yeah,
when I moved.
you moved. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so it's
No
mostly
worries.
still in boxes, and I was like, that's okay. I mean, to be honest, most of the stuff, all the stuff actually that I picked is pretty well known, but I they're my favorites. I wasn't gonna throw something in there just because it was obscure.
Yeah.
These are the you know these are arguably at least pretty close to being my favorites. So number 10, let me pull up my list here real quick because I can't remember now. Come on, had it sitting right here. At least wrote it down. Number 10, I went with Razor with Shotgun Justice.
Nice.
I know that's kind of an odd pick, but for some odd reason, not the band, but the album, some odd reason, that's just the one that I return to more than the others. I don't necessarily think it's their best album. I'm not super big on Bob's vocals. I mean, they're good, but I prefer Sheepdog's vocals a little bit more. But it's just such a blunt, brutal thrash metal album. It's literally what the title is, kind of what the album sounds like. It's just like it's a beat down from start to finish. All the songs are about beating people up, and it's just like it's a tough album. It's just, to me, like when I think of like tough, like thuggy thrash metal, that's the one that always comes to mind. It's just like it's like a punch to the face pretty much. And, the songs are great. The songs are great. I don't know. I know most people would pick the 80s stuff, and I like that too, but I don't know. I'm real partial to this one for some reason. So I wouldn't be honest if I picked a different album just because it's more cult,
Yeah. I have to admit, I need to listen to them more. I'm not that familiar with that band.
Razor are great. Their early stuff's more speed metal, like a Exciter type. And then they definitely became thrash. I mean, thrash and speed metal are obviously there's only a very narrow margin that divides them, but I think it's kind of obvious. The early stuff is more high vocals and I'd call it speed metal. But yeah, I heard their newest album. They had an album out last year, and I heard it was actually really good.
Oh, cool.
I don't see why it wouldn't be, but
Yeah, like I say, I need to check that out.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get into Razor, I'd say just start with their first album, or it might be their EP, I think. Just start there and work your way down. You'll hear the evolution. And at one point, they became like a technical thrash band. They actually became like super technical, and I think they only did that for an album or two. Yeah,
decided it wasn't for them.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I maybe it's just something they wanted to do, but I think it's good. It's not super well loved. I think it's not fan favorite era, but I think it's cool. I like it. Yeah. So that's my number 10.
Awesome. Okay. Number 9, I think I'll do. I'm like changing it on the fly.
I've done that. I've done that before.
Annihilator.
Oh shit! I forgot about that one. Oh,
you don't have this one in your?
No, it should be.
It's a great album.
Be. Oh, it's so good.
And what is their other?
The second album.
Never Neverland. Is that it?
Yeah.
I don't own that one, but that one's really good too.
It's good. I think Alice in Hell is, to me, way better.
Yeah. Actually, I was reading like some tidbits about this band, some factoids, and I guess the main dude is Jeff Waters, right? The guitar player.
He started it himself.
Yeah, and he's the only guy that's still in the band.
Yeah.
Did you know that he got asked to play in Megadeth?
Yeah, I do. I do remember hearing that. He would have been a good fit.
Yeah, and he turned them down every time.
Oh my gosh!
What are you doing?
Because I mean, he probably makes a living off Annihilator, but not like 6-figure income that Megadeth would have paid him.
Definitely, yeah.
But you gotta respect that though. If he did it just because like I don't want to deviate from my band,
For sure, yeah. He wanted to do his own thing, and you definitely gotta respect him for that.
Yeah, I mean he knew he's turning down money basically.
Yeah,
and that's hard to do for most people.
Yeah,
I would have loved to have heard a Megadeth album with him on guitar because his style is perfect for Megadeth.
Oh yeah, even if he did one album.
Yeah. which is how long a lot of people last in Megadeth. So.
True enough. That is true.
But yeah, I'll say now, I had I not forgotten about that album, it probably would have made this list because I like that a lot. It's
not a band that I return to much, but that album.
Same here. Yeah, same here. That's the one I like by far the most. It's so cool, especially the title track.
Yes. Oh yeah.
It's amazing.
The vocal lines are so good.
Yeah, I know. All right, so my number 9, we got another fairly obvious one. We got a Sacrifice with Forward to Termination from 1987. It's their second album. Another hard choice because I really like the first 3 albums of theirs, even the third one that not everyone's into. It's kind of Bay Area thrash sounding. You could tell they were kind of like, oh, Metallica are cool. Well, I bet we could do this too.
Yeah.
But this one's my favorite as far as the songwriting. It's kind of like a less unhinged and wild than the first one. It's a little more focused. You could tell that they even between that 1 year period, they had been practicing their instruments, and I just feel like they're better at every aspect of this album's a little better than the first one.
I was listening to that album this week actually, and it's
awesome.
Very modern sounding.
Yeah. They sounded professional already by that second album, but in a good way. In a good way though.
Yeah.
Like I think they had goal. I think they wanted to be probably a bigger band than they got to be.
Yeah. No, definitely. They actually just played here like 2 months ago, maybe.
Oh, sweet.
And I unfortunately didn't go, but
Oh.
because I'm an idiot, basically.
Oh, no. Well,
Yeah, I know, I know.
hopefully you'll get another chance.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely go if next. I was kind of just on the fence, and I don't know, some
Yeah.
reason I just didn't do it. But yeah,
I'm looking
I
at
am
their
not.
Metal Archives page, and you gotta check this out because this is awesome, if you haven't seen this. In 2010, they have a cover or not a cover, but they have a split that they did with the band Propagandhi,
Yep,
and the cover is so cool. So
it's
they
on the
covered,
Metal Archive.
it's on, yeah, it's on 7-inch vinyl.
Propaganda are great. I've seen them a bunch of times.
I actually like them. I think they're really good for a punk band.
Yeah,
No offense to, like, punk people. That came out wrong, but I think they're are a
I
really
grew up with punk. That was my first love. So
oh, they're great. But yeah, have you seen this cover though? What the cover looks like?
I haven't. No.
It's got like the owl from the second Rush album.
Oh,
It's
wow,
got him, and then like he's going to attack a bottle of, or a bottle, barrel of toxic waste.
nice,
It's so badass. It looks yeah, you gotta check it out.
classic.
I haven't heard it, but I'm gonna go find that now. So that
Yeah,
I feel bad for putting that at a number 9 because I really like that album, but I don't know. I struggle with the listing.
yeah, yeah.
It deserves to be at least a top 6, 5 or 6, but
Okay, should I go next?
yeah, go for it.
My next one, I'm sure you will approve. Strapping young lad,
Oh yeah.
alien.
Classic.
This is the only strapping young lad I have. Sorry, the shrink wrap's still on it.
Oh, you haven't
Yeah.
even opened it yet.
Oh no, it's open. It's just
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got the shrink on it. Yeah,
I've listened to this many times. Awesome album.
it is.
I really need to get City. I don't have that one.
Is I'm not so a lot of like the strapping young lad stuff right now is kind of hard to get because it hasn't been re-released in
Yeah,
a
yeah,
while. So
yeah. I was lucky to get this. It's on Blood Music,
oh, okay.
2005 press.
Dang.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent sounding press, as I recall.
Cool.
But yeah, I got this from a local, fairly not that well, like about an hour's drive from my house.
We can call that local. That's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, my record stores here are like we have one in my town and it's been here since the 80s. And then everything else is like at least 45-minute drive or so.
I've got a few like pretty close, and then there's a few more spread out
Yeah.
in my province. But the problem is most of them don't really have that much in the way of metal.
Oh yeah.
Like the biggest one, there are no chains. Well, no, there's one chain here still, but HMV and all those, they're all gone. But
Yeah, we don't have any chain stores anymore. They're
no, the biggest independent store, they have 3 stores in the local area, like in the metro area, and
okay.
the biggest of the 3 stores has the biggest metal selection as well, of course.
Well, that's
But
cool.
it's still like the thing is, no one that's really into metal works at the store,
Mm.
so it's not
So it's like, yeah,
great.
who's gonna order it in and stuff? And
Well, they'll order it if you ask them to, but
yeah.
the problem is it's like it's all Slayer and Iron Maiden and Metallica stuff, it's
Oh
like
yeah.
the common stuff for the most part, right?
Yeah, because
Or
they don't
then
know what
like
else to stock,
obscure,
you
yeah, or the obscure, black metal records that nobody wants,
know? I'd
And
buy them. That's what I'd be buying.
well, yeah, but
But nobody else wants them. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Anyways,
Scott says, yeah, Scott says City is his favorite strapping young lad album.
it is a really awesome album, yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's an insane album. It's one of
Oh,
those
yeah.
albums where you're like, nothing sounds like this,
It's bonkers, yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
It's the sound of a madman.
Yep.
All right. My number 8. This was a tough one because I like like 3 albums from this band a lot, so it's hard just choosing one. But I went with Cataclysm, the Mystical Gate of Reincarnation. It's their debut EP. I
Nice.
failed to write the year down, so I'm going to pull that up. It's early 90s. So Cataclysm are probably from away. Yeah, they're from Montreal, so probably
Montreal,
pretty
yeah.
far from you.
Yeah, it's like a 12-hour drive or something.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, Canada's a big country.
It is, yeah.
It's bigger than I think probably a lot of people realize. So
Yeah,
it's from 93.
awesome. Yeah, I have a couple of their later CDs, I think, but none of the
Their
early.
later stuff is pretty good, but I mean, their early stuff it's a different band. You
Yeah,
know, they
yeah.
had a different singer. They still have a lot of the same guys, but they had a different singer. And they're pretty unique with their death metal. It literally sounds like the early stuff. It's like it's well played, but it sounds like it's played by cavemen at the same time.
Mhm.
Like it's just so brutal and just so like gruff and like primal sounding. That's what I like about it. But
Yeah.
it's like they were trying to play simple, but they were just good musicians. So it would be like technical at points. They'd get really technical later on, but
Mhm.
yeah, this EP along, it kind of goes hand in hand with like their debut full length and maybe even the second full length. I kind of consider that a trilogy. Oh, and it was a trilogy.
There you go.
Because their third album is called Temple of Knowledge Cataclysm Part 3. So I think that was an intentional thing. But yeah, something about that Montreal death metal, amazing, from the early 90s.
Yeah.
It's
It'll
untouchable.
come up again, I'm sure.
Yeah, it will in mine.
That's
But
fine. Actually,
yeah.
maybe my next record.
Oh shit, go for it.
Cryptopsy.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
So actually, I don't know which one of these I like better.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
They're both awesome.
I'm the same way. Yeah.
So Blasphemy Made Flesh and None So Vile.
Well, if someone put a gun to your head, which one would you pick? Or you just be like, shoot me?
Yeah, probably this one because I have it on vinyl. Probably, maybe if I had this on vinyl, it would be this one.
And you listen to it a little more. And
I tend to listen to records more than CDs. Yeah, although lately I have been kind of more listening to CDs just because I don't know.
Yeah,
it's getting harder to afford. Like,
oh yeah,
I'm sure records are expensive down there, but they're worth.
They are.
Like we're looking at like $40-$45 for a lot of things now.
Damn. I don't usually see more than over 40 usually, so that's a little higher.
Oh, I've spent way more than that.
Damn.
I won't say that, but
it's hard to do. But
yeah,
Anyway, yeah, that album is awesome. We'll just say, yeah, I almost put that album on my list.
So yeah, if anyone doesn't know, brutal technical death metal. What did I write down here? Very extreme.
Great. It is, yeah. It's technical, but it's not like it's before they got bonkers,
Yeah.
It's still like just the regular death metal guys could get into it,
Yeah.
But yeah, I do love it.
And I love that artwork too.
The artwork is awesome. That's probably their best artwork.
I forget the artist on this, but
I don't think I know, unless I have forgotten.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's one of those guys that's done a bunch of covers, like they all have,
Most likely, yeah.
All right. You have anything else to say about that?
Oh no, I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty to the point with most of mine too. It's like I'm not going to just. I don't know. I can't keep that many thoughts in my head all at once.
Exactly.
So for me, number 7, I went with Gorguts, and this might be a weird choice because most people would pick one of their earlier albums, and I wanted to, but lately this is just the one that I've been digging, actually, really since it came out. But I went with Colored Sands from 2011.
Yes, I have that album somewhere. I can't find it. Also.
Yeah. I mean, I almost went with the debut just because I really like it for what it is. But Colored Sands it's so unique in their discography. Like, it doesn't sound like their early stuff. It doesn't even sound like Obscura. It's like they did have some downtime. I think they had looks like about at least a decade of inactivity.
Yeah.
And so they came back with Colored Sands, and it's like almost a different band. But I really like the direction they went in on it. It's like Luke LeMay loves Deathspell Omega. It's no secret. He talks about it all the time. He's always wearing DSO shirts and stuff. And he was highly inspired by Deathspell Omega, and it really shows on this album.
And I don't know, like they put out an EP. When was that? Like
they did. That came out like a year or two later. Plague's Dust. No, 3 years later. Okay.
Yeah, it is like
awesome.
fairly long. It's like 40-minute EP or something, right?
And it's one song.
Yeah, but it's awesome.
It's great. Actually,
but that was like in 2017 or something.
2016.
2016, and then nothing since then, too.
Nothing since. Yeah. They're not the most active band these days. No. Yeah, that I really am liking this direction. Even though now it's been 7 years, I hope they're still kind of going. I think it's Luke will probably keep it in this direction, but it's hard to say.
Yeah.
But just the dissonant, just all the dissonant riffs and stuff. I like this.
So good.
Yeah, I think it's perfect for them. So
I'm a huge fan of dissonant death and black metal for sure.
Me too. I wasn't always, but lately I've been really liking that kind of stuff. So that's my number 7.
Awesome. I've kind of lost track of what number I'm on.
I know, I always do. That's why I have to write it down.
I think this is 6.
You are at number 6.
Yeah. Okay. This is one you may not know. Cauldron.
I know Cauldron.
You know them?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm not even sure if this is like the album I would pick. It's a good one.
It is good. I've heard it.
I also really like Tomorrow's Lost.
I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, this is the album before this one.
Okay.
And then the first
Cauldron are awesome, actually. I need to get some of their stuff.
Yeah. Sorry, this is, well, you can't actually see anything, but I'll just go. This is the first album, Chained to the Night.
Okay.
Also, it's a different drummer. They went through a lot of drummers. Actually, I know
seems to be a band.
Yeah, all these 3 albums have different drummers in each album.
Okay.
But the guy that's on this album, Miles Deck, he's actually from Halifax. So.
Oh, cool.
And I've never played in a band with him, but I played shows with his bands before.
Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah. He's awesome band. They're definitely like if you're not familiar, like an 80s throwback.
Totally, very much so.
New album kind of thing.
Totally, yeah.
Definitely, I don't know. I just
early Ozzy and
yeah. Makes me think of. Do you know Raccoons, the TV show, the cartoon?
No.
That was a kind of a Canadian thing. Look it up sometime.
I will. I love cartoons.
It's a cartoon from the 80s. It's a bunch of raccoons, and the main villain in the show is Cyril Sneer. Is his name, and he like runs this like corporation that's throwing toxic sludge into the woods where the raccoons live, and
oh shit.
They basically just like every episode have to try to stop him, from wrecking their home.
Sounds awesome.
The premise of the whole show, and it was a huge hit in Canada.
Wow. Sounds cool to me. I'm definitely going to check it out.
Because these guys make me think of that. Like,
oh, really?
Feeling of 80s. Yeah, I don't know.
Just nostalgia.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you ever meet one of those guys, you should ask them if they're into the record.
I have met them actually.
Yeah.
Because I've seen them play a couple of times.
Yeah.
And I've never asked them about that, but I should.
Do you remember? So pre Cauldron, do you remember the band Goat Horn? Did you ever listen to them?
I have a CD of theirs actually.
Yeah, I was listening to Goat Horn around the time that they were a band, and I thought they were pretty cool actually.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely a lot different. They were like a doomy stoner.
A little bit more doom. Yeah. But you can definitely still hear the connections.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Like it's clear that it's the same, vocalist, guitarist guy, the Jason.
Well, he plays bass. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Bass and vocals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And he's got a really unique sounding voice, so you're definitely going to notice it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, great Canadian band.
Yeah, they're cool. They're I've only heard that most recent album, but I thought it was awesome.
They have a newer one actually called New God, which came out in like just before the pandemic, I think.
Oh, okay.
And it's a little different. It's not as It's kind of more like classic rock.
Oh, a little more rock. Okay.
Yeah.
I
So
could
I
see that.
wasn't as into it. It's good. It's just not really my thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Probably
and
not mine.
they're still active, but they're kind of on hiatus right now. So hopefully
Okay.
they come back before. I know like a couple members had kids, I think. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, because
um,
they were on a pretty good roll there. They were getting
yeah,
more and more and more popular, and they were
yeah.
rising up. And yeah.
And then yeah, they decided to take a break and do family stuff for a while. So hopefully they
Okay.
come back though.
Yeah, or it'll be one of those things where it's like 15 years and then they'll come back.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as they come back strong, that's all that matters.
Yeah. Okay, you're up.
All right, my number 6, we got I went with Cryptopsy None So Vile from 1996. I really like that first album too, but I think no, I heard None So Vile way, way before the
Yeah.
first one. So it was already like cemented in my brain, and now it's just too late for anything to become, my favorite
Oh yeah.
about it. It's yeah, it's just such a great death metal album. Like around the time it came out, like nobody sounded like that. They were starting to get really technical, but even still, I would say it's still one of those albums that like non-tech death fans can be into,
Yeah.
In fact, I know a lot of people that hate technical death metal, but they're still into None So Vile. But it's still pretty technical. Like it's
It
not a
is.
simple death metal album by any means.
Yeah. It took me a while to get into it just because
Me too.
I wasn't into this type of death metal
It's
for a
yeah,
while.
it's so whiplashy. There's just like so much going on,
Oh
and
yeah.
like the vocals are insane. Like
Yeah.
I love Lord Worm's vocals though. Like I love how, especially in this album, he does not go for like your standard cadences and stuff. He does his own thing. He does his vocals. They don't have to like match up with the music or anything. He just
Oh yeah.
lets loose.
Yeah.
And it gives it a very like spontaneous feel. And
Unique. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
definitely unique. And that cover art too. I've always loved that
Yeah.
painting.
Yeah.
Isn't that supposed to be like the head is supposed to be somebody famous from around that
I
time.
don't
I
know
want
the
to I want to
story
say it was
behind
like John the Baptist from the Bible, but I could be wrong.
that. Rings a bell actually. I don't know if it says in the liner notes here.
Yeah,
Probably not.
that's what I feel like I recollect, but I could be wrong. It's a brutal it's a brutal piece of artwork. That's for damn sure, especially
Yeah.
from so
Oh yeah. There's no way I'm gonna find. There's like like look at the.
it's a shitload of liner notes and
Oh
stuff.
man, yeah.
It's small print.
I've never read this before. All the lyrics are in here too. That's
I
awesome.
haven't read it either. I'll have to get my copy out and check it out.
Oh, here we go. Cover art. Herodotus with the head of John the Baptist.
Oh, I was right. Damn.
Yeah, there you go, man.
Yeah. Doesn't get more anti-Christian than that.
Nope.
Unless it was Jesus' head, which would be pretty awesome. But
Yeah. Well,
I
you
think
could mistake that head for Jesus' head.
that's true. That's true. That's true. So yeah, number 6, Cryptopsy None So Vile, the classic to this day.
Awesome.
Love it.
Okay. Okay. I can't. I don't think I can do this. Like,
I'm done.
No, I'm just saying I
I'm
love all
joking.
these albums. So
Yeah, I know.
putting them from 5 to 1 is pretty difficult. Here's a new one.
That's a Canadian band?
There's a Canadian member in the band.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
It's an awesome album. I have it too.
The guitar player is also in Tomb Mold.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So
That's right.
which is the
I like
Canadian
Tomb
band.
Mold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've included them. Maybe I'm cheating a little bit.
Nah.
And I don't know. I really like this album too.
I do too. That's the only one I have from them, but I like it a lot. Yeah.
So this is great if you don't know this. On 20
No, it's really good.
Yeah. And yeah, it's like a mix of death and almost shoegazy at times, but like really catchy and
It's slow.
yeah, it's definitely like death doom.
Yeah. Which I love.
Yeah, me too, man. Tide Turns Eternal is the name of the album.
It's a sleeper album too, I would
Yeah.
say. I almost slept on it entirely, and I'm so glad I got it because it's you know what I did with at first it was the album cover where I was like, that's not death metal, I don't want this. But I thought about it, and like even back in the 90s, a lot of the weirder bands would put out weird album covers like that. you know?
Yeah, disembodied and
Yeah, so I think it's cool for that. It's if you think of it that way, I think it's actually really cool.
yeah. And their new album is I don't have it, but
I don't have it yet.
it's weird. I'm not sure what I think about
Really?
it.
I noticed that the songs were a lot longer. I saw the track listing.
Yeah, I think it's only like 5 songs on it, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
like 10,
there's
10, 12-minute songs.
yeah, it's definitely different.
Is it?
It's
Hmm.
less doomy and more kind of dreamy,
I
proggy,
might
maybe.
I might
I
actually
don't know.
really like that.
Yeah. I haven't listened to the whole thing through more than once, so
Yeah.
I
You're
can't
still
give
digesting
much
it.
of an opinion yet. Yeah, but yeah.
Damn. I'm gonna have to, yeah, I want to hear it. But
So
yeah, that one I really dig. That's one of my favorite albums of recent that I like almost wrote off before listening to.
yeah, and it's only 2 guys, so I
You
think
guys, yeah.
50% of the band is Canadian, so I think that counts.
Yeah. Yeah, and the other guy, he's been in a bunch of bands too. Like he was
Yep.
in innumerable forms and stuff, and he's really talented.
Which is another awesome death metal band. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, my number 5, we got I went with Oblivion with their Nemesis album from 1993. They
Yeah,
were
it's
like a technical thrash band.
yeah.
I got into them because of Fenriz actually. Um,
Oh,
he
nice.
lists he lists them in one of the Dark Throne albums. You know, in the liner notes, he lists Oblivion. He's really into their demos, of course. so, so, so knowing me, I was like, well, I'm just gonna dive into one of their albums, and I've only heard this one, but it's so goddamn good.
What's the name of the album again?
The album is called Nemesis.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, and they're like a kind of a death metal band. They're kind of thrash death, but really progressive and technical, which I love technical thrash metal. So something about I either like thrash metal like really raw and simple, or I like it like super techy and challenging.
Yeah, I agree. They're both the only techie stuff I don't like is when you get like the crazy slap bass or like
Oh yeah,
bass sound, you know?
yeah. It's
I'm
like
not. Yeah, I can't get into that.
I'm hit and miss with all the technical stuff. I
Yeah.
used to really like tech death, and now I'm well. Then I went to like, oh, I don't like it at all. Now I'm like more open minded, but I'm not. I don't love all of it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But this band's their stuff's hard to find, unfortunately, because they were never really. They were more of a cult band. They never made it big, so their albums and stuff they're not easy to track down. But
yeah.
But if you can, they're definitely get them if you ever see them.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I've never seen them.
I'm not surprised. Yeah. Let's see. What part of Canada are they from? Quebec.
Yeah. I would say like 90% of Canadian bands are either from Quebec or Toronto.
I was going to say, yeah, almost actually,
or Ontario, I should say, not Toronto.
I think every band I've chosen so far, no, not every, my last 4 are all from Quebec.
Yeah.
And there's more, I think.
But here's one that's not from either of those places.
Oh, good.
They are from, I believe, Vancouver. Just let me double check.
I'm sure Vancouver's had some scenes from time to time.
Oh no, Calgary. Alberta.
Okay.
Wake.
Yeah, I thought you might use this band.
I fucking love these guys.
Yeah, I need to get into them.
So this is their 2022 album on Metal Blade, Thought Form Descent.
Yeah.
They are dissonant black metal, but the vocals are not very black metal sounding. They're very deep and gruff and like growly. There's no like high pitched screaming on this. It's definitely more death metal sounding vocals.
Yeah.
But the music is quite black metal. So maybe you could call it Black and Death, I guess. But
yeah.
And
they were a grind band, right? At first, when they started. Yeah.
Yeah, their first 2 or possibly 3 albums are grindy. Yeah. And then the last album, which I have here, Devouring Ruin. This one's also awesome.
What are they? Is that black metal too, or is it?
Yeah, this one's from 2020.
Oh, okay.
And it's on Translation Loss Records.
Oh, cool.
It's similar to this. It's maybe not quite as like, it's maybe a little bit more straightforward
Okay.
black metal than this one is.
I really like that dissonant black metal stuff.
Yeah.
So that might be, I might start with that newest one and then just go back.
I think you would like this too if you like this.
I'll work my way back.
Yeah.
Even
And
the grind stuff I
in
listen
between these two, I think they have an EP that's they kind of did the blood incantation thing where the EP is like totally off.
Yeah.
Kind of
I love when bands do that though.
Yeah. Yeah.
When they're like, this is an EP, this isn't going to make or break us. Here's us doing something we really wanted to do.
Yeah. Oh,
you don't have to love it,
Yeah. I mean, blood incantation, not to go off on a tangent, they kind of got a bad rap for that, I think, but
yeah, maybe, but I respect them a lot for doing that.
Oh, totally, man. I love it. I think they're awesome. So
yeah, me too. And I actually really like that ambient EP because I like I like Tangerine Dream and stuff. So I wasn't against it, from the start.
There's been a copy sitting at my local record store for a long time. I should probably just go grab it.
Yeah, just snag it. Yeah. I saw an interview with them recently. They're saying that their next album is probably going to be death metal again, but they said they're going to weave some of that ambient stuff into it. So maybe like interludes and stuff.
I'm all about that.
Yeah, and they said it's going to be even crazier than they've ever been. It's going to be crazy and wild and technical, and yeah, they're just going to go off the deep end.
Do death metal guitars with ambient like all mashed together. I think
it works. Yeah, I think it works really well, even with black metal, like ambient black metals. I love it.
I saw I'll make this short, but I saw a YouTube video recently. A guy was dissecting blood incantation. He was saying, "Oh, it's just all chromatic scales, and that's not a riff. That's a guitar warm up scale. They call it so technical. That's bullshit." And blah blah blah.
Was he being serious or was he kidding? Or
what's that?
Was he being serious or was he more joking?
No, I think he was dead serious.
Oh, okay. That's his opinion, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not a musician, so I can't say any of those things.
Yeah, well, I'm not a guitar player, so
sounds like riffs to me,
Yeah, totally.
Whatever. I know. I really like Blood Incantation. They're one of the few like really really hyped bands that I've liked, or at least I liked them from the start. Yeah, they didn't really even have to like earn me. Like I just was like, this is awesome. I'm down.
Well, I was late to them. I got on board with the Hidden History of the Human Race, but I've gone back since then and checked out.
How do you feel? What's your favorite? Do you have a favorite or?
Probably Star Spawn.
Star Spawn's good. Yeah. I like Star Spawn. I don't know. I kind of really like that newest.
The new one's awesome too. I mean, they're both great. So
yeah, they are.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to hear what they do next because I think it's going to be insane.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so I'm at number 4. Wow. Okay. This is an obvious pick, but I couldn't leave it off just because I love it so much. But I went with Blasphemy, Gods of War. I like the second album much more than the first, personally. What was the damn?
Where
I think it was 93. They are from, let's see, British Columbia, Burnaby.
Okay.
And so yeah, this came out in 93. I've always liked it more than the first album because the first album, it's just so chaotic and it's hard. It's with the rough production, it's hard to hear anything. And not to say that I can't hear it, but I mean, the second one has just got a better production. It's kind of the same style of songwriting, but you can hear everything so much better. Like, there's actually, you can hear the actual riffs, and I don't know. To me, it's just like, it's very similar, but it's just the production so much better. And I think it's a little bit of a better written album and, better played too, but I seem to be pretty much in the minority of thinking that it's better than the first. I don't think I've ever seen anyone say that, but it is for me.
Is that it?
Yeah. Gods of War. I love it. Yeah. The version I have comes with the demo on it too. So that's cool.
Oh, cool. I do know these guys, but yes, I don't own anything by them, I don't think.
Yeah, it's they're like the godfathers of war metal.
Yeah.
They were the first band to make they've been, I don't like to use the term ripped off, but they've been copied time and time again for the last 30 years. And now it's a full on scene. And I'm not huge into all the war metal stuff, but I like a lot of it. Yeah,
that's a genre I've struggled with, I'll admit.
I don't blame you. it's not for everyone. It's so abrasive and it's just so damn, it's abrasive and chaotic, and it's not easy to get into.
Yeah.
But yeah, Blasphemy they're the godfathers of that sound.
Cool. Okay, we're getting down to the nitty gritty now.
We are. My top 3 are definitely my favorite 3.
Yeah, same.
The other ones are kind of like I could have mixed them up, but
yeah. Okay, so I guess this would be technically number 2. Woods of Ypres.
Oh yeah, forgot about
do you know
them.
these guys?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, this is their last album, Gray Skies and Electric Light.
I forgot they were from Canada. Totally.
Yep, from Ontario. Unfortunately, the singer died mysteriously in a car crash.
Yeah, bummer.
In 2011, I think.
It was a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard he was a good dude. I've heard.
Yeah. How to describe them? I don't know. What did I write down? I wrote
Agalloch. I think it'd be a good comparison.
Agalloch and Typo Negative.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
So
and they had like their own sound. Really, no,
yeah,
they never
melodic death metal, melodic black metal rather.
Yeah,
mixed with doom.
Yeah,
and but then
sort of
like
folk stuff.
What's that? Folky stuff.
Sort of folky. Yeah. Maybe.
And he has like this really sorrowful, like clean singing voice that is just. I mean, man, if you're not in a bad mood and you put this on, you probably will be by the end of the album.
It's very, very sad, depressing music.
Yeah, he sings a lot about death and dying, and no wonder he died young, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, but all their albums are good, although they kind of this one's really good, the Green Album.
I think I've heard that one. I've only heard like 2 albums.
And then this one is good too, but this is more of like a straightforward black metal album.
Okay.
And they have a couple EPs and stuff too, but
yeah, I remember that.
And this one's good too.
Okay.
Yeah, one day I found them all on Amazon for pretty cheap, so I bought them all.
All at once? You're like, I'll take
pretty
them.
much, yeah. Or I bought like three at once, and
yeah,
I was lucky I found this one locally. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see that floating around too often.
No, not that often, but yeah, another amazing band.
Yeah, I can't believe I forgot they were Canadian. I completely forgot that.
Yeah.
Like I didn't forget the band, but I forgot that I thought they were American.
Nope.
All right. So my number 3, this one it's easily could have been maybe even my second, but I've only even really got into this album like not even a year ago. So from 1997, I got Devin Townsend, Ocean Machine. So this album started out as originally the band was gonna be called Ocean Machine, but the record label didn't like it. You know, they were like, "You're already kind of becoming well known as Devin Townsend. We don't feel comfortable. We feel like if you put it out as Ocean Machine, no one's gonna buy it." So they kind of forced him to put it out under Devin Townsend, but so technically it was supposed to be its own separate band, and this is my favorite thing that Devin Townsend's ever done so far, and he's done a lot. So,
yeah.
This album is, and it doesn't sound like anything he's ever done. Yeah, it sounds. I mean, if it were a strapping young lad album, it would be like their melodic, I don't know, their melodic album, because it sounds like, you know, if SYL were to put out a very melodic album, that's what Ocean Machine would have been like. So basically what I'm saying is it still has some SYL elements, like in the production. It's got like, it's sort of industrial sounding, but oh my God, this album is just like, there's so much emotion on it. It just blows me away every time. There's like happy songs. It sounds like Devin Townsend. Like it's happy, it's super sad, it's like super atmospheric. Some of it's heavy, and
he always has a range of feelings and emotion in his music, which is
I like that, because like growing up, I used to listen to Smashing Pumpkins a lot, and they had the same thing where it's like every emotion all in one album.
I was a big Smashing Pumpkins fan back in the day too.
Yeah, I still like some of their early stuff. I actually think that Ocean Machine kind of at times it kind of reminds me of Smashing Pumpkins. I've never seen Devin mention them at all, so I don't think he was a fan. I think it's just probably a coincidence. But
yeah, that's interesting.
Amazing album. It's one of the few albums that I give like a 10 out of 10 to. So,
oh wow,
yeah,
cool.
It's perfect for me.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's my number 3.
I'm not sure how I'm at 1 and you're at 3. I must have missed something.
I think you missed one because I'm looking at my list and it looks like I haven't missed anything, which is surprising because I've done it before.
Okay. Let's see. Well, I've got others here.
Good. You can pick your number 3 on the fly, or your number 2. I mean,
yeah. Yeah. Here, let's go with this one.
Hey, you're mixing it all up anyway. So
I've been mixing it. I'm not even gonna remember. I'm gonna have to go back and watch this to know.
Yeah, totally.
How about this one?
Oh, I have that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Profound Lore, Spectral Wound, A Diabolic Thirst.
Yeah.
When did this come out?
I think 2022 or 1.
Yeah, it was fairly recently.
Yeah.
I guess it's been like some blowback with this band.
Really? Has there?
Well, just like, you know, it got big and popular, so
all of
a sudden don't like it anymore, you know.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, they did start getting popular pretty quickly. Yeah, it came out in 2021.
Yeah, and this is another Montreal band, I believe.
It is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So yeah, great stuff. I don't know.
I like it a lot.
I have a whole lot to say about it, but just great black metal, like, you know, fairly well produced, not, you know, super high produced, but decent.
Yeah, for black metal, just kind of right in the middle where it
belongs,
you know.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't sound like it was recorded in a trash can, but
no, definitely doesn't.
No.
But it's also not like super polished or
yeah. It'd be interesting to hear what these guys do next, I think.
Yeah, you know, who cares that they got popular? No band, and people act like bands orchestrate that kind of thing, you know. It's like,
no,
you're mad at them for making stuff that people like, you know.
I've played in bands all my adult life, and I've only had a minor little bit of success, and we're talking very minor, and
people already talk shit about you.
Yeah, probably. But no, you got to work hard even just to get like the scraps, like these days it's way, I mean, I haven't you know, I've been in touring bands and stuff, like just in Canada, not outside of Canada, but you know, you have to really work hard, and it's even worse now than it was back in the early 2000s when I was doing it, because now there's
competition.
Yeah, now there's way more competition, right?
Yeah, it's got to be hard to even.
Everyone can kind of get their name out there without actually going anywhere, right?
It's true
to some extent. So
it's got to be hard to even sell more than like just a handful of albums. You know, there's when people can buy anything they want, and it's like, man, if I had a band and someone bought one album from me, I'd be like shocked. Like, oh wow, you actually want to part with your money? You could have bought something else.
Exactly.
Something better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like that album. I haven't heard it. I haven't heard their other stuff. Scott said that he likes the second one a lot as well, but I haven't heard it yet.
I don't own it, so I'm not that familiar with it. Yeah.
Let's see. Infernal Decadence. Man, I remember seeing. Yeah, I do remember this album cover. It's really cool. It's a better album cover than the third, but I mean, that album cover's cool to me too, but this one's pretty awesome. But so let's see. My number 2. Here's another one. All the bands that I put on here, I struggled with. I didn't struggle with putting the band on, but I struggled with what album to pick. I'm sure you probably did too.
Mm-hmm.
And so, of course, I got Voivod at my number 2 with Outer Limits from 1993.
Nice.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that like that album, but more, you know, most of the diehard Voivod fans are going to go for something from the 80s. But I don't know. I'm a big prog guy, and Outer Limits is super progressive, but it's still really melodic and really catchy. Because Voivod, no matter what they did, you know, whether they're really heavy or really technical or really progressive, they're always catchy and always melodic, no matter what they did.
I think one of my favorite Voivod songs, Fix My Heart, is on that.
Oh, it's so good.
Such a good song. Yeah.
and this is one of the albums of theirs that I heard later on, and I was like, I'm probably not going to like this one because I like their late 80s, early 90s stuff. And I was like, oh, I've heard this one's weird. I'm probably not going to like it. And I turned it on, and I just loved it from the start.
Yeah, same, man. That's exactly how I've kind of bounced around in their discography. Like, I think Couture's was actually their first album that I listened to.
I really like that one, actually.
Me too. And I bought
it's their rock album,
Yeah, I bought the CD like on a whim. I didn't even know who they were, and I played it, and I immediately loved it.
Yeah.
And since then, now I have pretty much all their albums. But
that's an interesting place to start, though. K-Tours.
Yeah.
That's another album where I was like, I'm not gonna like this probably, and it is their most like mainstream rock sounding album, but it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's if you want to just call it a rock album, it's a super good rock album.
Yeah, and well, if anyone who doesn't know, Newstead plays bass.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. I think
he's on 2 albums. I think
2 or 3. Yeah,
it might be a 3rd one. Yeah,
that might have been the last one he did with them, but yeah,
it's the best one, I think, too.
Yeah, it is. I actually don't really care for the other ones he did.
It's Infinity.
Yeah, I don't care for Infinity, and I don't care for the self-titled one as much.
Yeah, it's not super.
Yeah, but what can you do? Voivod have very few weaknesses in their discography, so
this is true.
To be a band that's been around for like 40 years, you can't have everything perfect. So, yeah, not going to happen usually.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Oh, and if you have the CD, do you have the CD of Outer Limits?
I do.
Do you have the one with like the X-ray glasses or 3D glasses?
Yeah,
it's such a fun release. The physical side of things.
It's awesome that I found that like in almost perfect condition.
Yeah, because I imagine how many like used copies are floating around and the glasses are missing.
Yeah. No, mine has the glasses.
Yeah, mine did too.
And I also bought the reissue when it came out last year too.
On vinyl or?
On vinyl, yeah.
Oh, okay, I got to get that. That'd be fun. Yeah. Does it have glasses in it, or is it just the album?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I imagine that was too pricey.
Oh yeah, it would be. Yeah, vinyl's already expensive to produce.
Yeah. So for my number 1, like obviously it's Voivod because they're probably my favorite band. Not probably, they are my favorite band. I'm leaning towards Nothing Face today.
Yeah, it's great.
But I mean, I also love Killing Technology.
Me too.
And Dimension Hatros as well. So
Dimension Hatros is probably my tie for number 1.
Yeah, I mean, they're all amazing.
Yeah.
They're basically like one big album. I mean, yeah, they sound a little bit different. You can hear the progression for sure.
Yeah, but they have stuff in common with each
all
other.
Telling a story, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Story of the Voivod.
Like I just thought of this. How awesome would it be to have a graphic novel?
It would be awesome. Yeah. I
Like
never thought about that.
On that.
Yeah.
Away. If you ever see this.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Yeah, because the Voivod, he's supposed to be like he's like some kind of vampire, and it's a weird story. I don't think they've really like fleshed it out, but
it's pretty hard to follow.
Yeah. Well, Rush is the same way, like with Rush's, their concept albums, even they'll admit like we didn't really tie everything together. It's just kind of loosely.
Yeah. I imagine that it wouldn't like if they worked with a comic book artist or writer, they could probably come up and flesh out.
Oh yeah,
I think there's
stitch everything together and fill in the gaps.
Yeah,
dude, that'd be sick. That'd be a really good idea.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
And what also would be cool would be like a animated movie or something.
Yes, I mean I'm more of a like tactile, hold it in my hands guy, so I think I prefer the graphic novel, but a movie could be cool too.
Yeah, it'd be awesome,
especially if it was like rotoscoped or something. Like
yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's a thought they've had. I don't know.
Yeah, they've got stuff cooking, I think.
Yeah. Okay. I hope so. So my number 1 is not only is it number 1 for this list, but it's my favorite album of all time.
Wow.
It's Rush with Moving Pictures from 1981. I could talk about this album for like a year straight, but it's just I don't know what it is. Like I I like all Rush albums. I don't love them all, but I love most of them. And this is the one that I literally, I don't even get tired of, like, Tom Sawyer. I know a lot of people are like, I don't need to hear that song ever again. But
Yeah,
every
Tom
time I listen
Sawyer
to
and
it,
YYZ.
yeah, I mean,
Um,
it's just a perfect album front to back. There's no filler on here. There's not 1 second of filler or wasted space.
yeah. Well, I
It's
would say the first 4 songs anyway are all.
yeah,
I mean, they're all good, but like you said,
yeah. The first 4 songs are awesome.
yeah.
It's even Rush themselves. This is their favorite Rush album. They've stated in interviews and stuff.
Oh, awesome, nice.
Yeah, they've said that this is where they actually started to feel like complete as a band.
Yeah,
And they just like after writing this, they're like, this is what we have been meaning to do this whole time. Like
81, right? So when this
81, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Did you ever get to see them live?
no, I had one chance and I blew it.
Oh man, I
And
saw them.
I'll never see them now.
I saw them. What was it, like the 40th anniversary or something?
Okay. So it would have
And
been in like 2007 probably, or 2005.
I feel like it was later than that.
Because I think they started in 75 or
Yeah, maybe it wasn't 40th, but anyway,
they actually
yeah,
started in 68.
that's not say.
I don't think you count some of those years, but whatever.
Yeah, no, we just skip past. Okay, it wasn't 40th.
The first album was 74, so
Yeah. So yeah, maybe you're just starting at 74 then.
yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, what did they do for 6 years? Well, they had like some.
So I guess it doesn't count because they were actually 2 other bands, so it was a progression
Right.
of getting to Rush. So
Yeah.
I don't think you would count years that they weren't Rush. That's kind of stupid,
Yeah, yeah.
even though it was the same guys.
Was
But yeah,
Didn't
this album
Getty
is just
join like after they were Rush?
Getty joined in. Nope, him and Alex were the original.
Oh,
Actually, so it says Getty was 68. It says Alex was 60. Oh yeah, 68. I think they started it together.
yeah. And it's interesting too. They actually had to go to the US and play a lot of shows in the US at the beginning because Canada just wasn't into it. Like they were like, "What is
It
this?"
happens. It happens with a lot of bands. They get like
Yeah.
stuck. Yeah, like some countries just don't understand them. I don't understand how that works, but
Well, in Canada in particular, I guess because it's so geographically huge.
true.
Yeah, a lot of Canadian bands just couldn't make it big here. I think not a metal band, but Tragically Hip, I think, was another one that, you know, well, I'm not
Yeah,
sure actually how big that band got in the
you
US.
have to get out of Canada, not
Yeah,
permanently, but you have to go tour other places.
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
I've heard Canadian tours are a struggle because there's so much in between that's just like wilderness and stuff. You
yeah.
got like
Well,
stuff here and then stuff way over there. Like
I'll give you an example. So, like, Halifax is, on the East Coast in Nova Scotia, and the next like city worth playing in is probably Moncton, New Brunswick. So it's a different province. It's
and how
about
far of a drive?
3.5 hours.
Yeah.
So, and then from there, there's like a couple other smaller towns in New Brunswick that probably aren't worth even playing in.
Yeah.
And then you got to go to Quebec, which is like another 10-hour drive.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
rough. Like it's, a lot of bands won't come here just because of that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've heard of like with Canadian bands with the most like the big ones like they're like you got to break out of Canada. You can't stay here, like
Yeah. Oh, for
I mean
sure.
you can stay living there, but if you got to tour, you got to tour the US, you got to tour, Asia, and you got to go to different places to get your name really
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
But for me, I don't have many albums that I consider 10 out of 10 like perfection, but Moving Pictures for me is the most the most perfect album I've ever heard. There just is no filler. Like it's just songwriting perfection, It's like everything I want from Rush all in one album. It's not super technical or super proggy, but it is proggy, and it's just a perfect balance of music.
Yeah. Yeah, awesome. So, should I do a few runners up?
You want to do your Oh yeah, you did your number one. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
I mean, you already pulled them out and
These
put
are
some thought into it.
Yeah, so these are definitely not you know, like my favorite albums or anything. I like them all, but
Yeah,
they're
full
good runners up.
bands. Oh, I saw Priestess live one time.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, they opened for Mastodon one, like in the earlier
Oh,
mid
crazy.
2000s. Yeah,
So
they were good.
I really like this album, Hello
It's cool.
Master. When did it come out? I didn't research these runners up as much, so I'm
That's
not
okay.
sure what the date is on this, but it was like
I would say early 2000s for
early
sure.
2000s. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then they only had 2 albums, and then they broke up. And I don't know if any of the guys are really doing anything anymore.
They were good. Yeah, when I saw them play live, they were actually really good.
Yeah, I saw them once too. I think. What is the shit? I'm forgetting what the hit. Oh, Talk to Her. No, it's not Talk to Her.
I can't remember. I do remember
There's one
him having
song on this
yeah.
album that kicks ass. It's just
And you used to hear it. Yeah, you used to hear it on shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'd have to hear it to even remember.
It might be Run Home, the third track. I don't know. I can't remember, but anyway. Yeah, if anyone, and they're like
kind of a doomy kind of a doomy retro, like a retro rock, stoner rock, doomy type band.
Yeah.
Like The Sword, stuff like that, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe not
The Sword. Very like
not as doomy as The Sword, but pretty close.
Yeah, the vocals are like really catchy and really like he's a really strong vocalist for sure.
Yeah, he had a really good voice. Yeah. He could
Kinda
actually sing.
Yeah, exactly. I would say ASG. Do you know them?
Yeah.
Similar to
I
them.
haven't heard a ton, but yeah, I know them. Yeah. I think they're
Really
from down south over here.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, Priestess, definitely good runner up.
Yeah. They probably could have been pretty big. I can't believe they quit after 2 albums.
It does suck. And here's another band that should have been huge. Doughboys.
I don't think I know that one.
So this is not metal. Most of these aren't actually. I would say these are like these guys are like power pop, almost pop punk, but like before it sucked, like not Blink 182
before it was a dirty word,
Yeah. I mean, it's like really like almost pop melodies.
Yeah. So it was like early 90s or what?
Yeah, really, it's total 90s. You hear this and you're like, oh yeah, it's 90s.
It's 90s.
And they had a huge hit on this one. I think it's the first track, I think, Shine. You'd probably recognize the song if you listen to it. But I mean, even like the artwork, like that's Marilyn Monroe.
Oh yeah.
And then there's like
pretty cool.
Lots of like, I don't know, found art.
I like it.
Very 90s-esque.
Yeah.
But this is kind of I don't know, an embarrassing
what's the term for that? Guilty pleasure?
Yeah.
But what really matters is that you like it,
Exactly. I put that on and my wife's like, oh, are you listening to 90s crap again?
Not this again.
Yeah. Here's another one that I should probably be a little embarrassed about. Chicks Dig It.
What a name.
This band name has not aged well.
No, it hasn't.
But these guys are great.
They pop punk too, or
definitely a pop punk album. And they're really there's a song called Henry Rollins is No Fun. And the chorus is Henry Rollins is no fun. Just ask my mom.
Oh my God. What the fuck?
So yeah, you should, if you want a good laugh, check these guys.
I've already gotten one. That's
it's
awesome.
Hilarious, man. It's so good.
I wonder if the band name comes from Dumb and Dumber, the movie. Remember that? Where talk about their van? And they're like, oh,
when did that movie come out?
I think like 93. Yeah, I think like 93.
So it's possible.
Yeah, that would be a really cool connection there.
Oh man,
that's what comes to mind.
Some of the so all their songs were about like unrequited love, their moms, hockey, pretty Canadian stuff, right?
Hockey.
Yeah.
A lot of mom stuff.
Yeah. And some of the So some of the track titles: "Where's Your Mom?" "I Want to Hump You,"
Oh,
"Hemp Hemp Hooray," uh, "Toilet Seats Coming Down," "Shadowy Bangers from a Shadowy Duplex."
oh, interesting. Interesting.
Anyway, yeah, these guys are great.
Kind of cool song titles.
Yeah. Okay, this is probably the most mainstream album. Do you know Danko Jones?
I've heard the name. I've
Yeah.
heard the name many times. I've never heard the music.
This is just like great rock and roll.
That's what I've heard.
I would classify this as like maybe Rocket from the Crypt, almost in the same vein as like Turbo Negro, but not as the lyrics or lyrical things.
Not as
Not as out there.
offensive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, it looks like you got
Hey,
somebody that knows Chicks Dig It.
Sean Barry, he's actually an old friend of mine.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah, Danko's great.
I've heard.
And this is our first album.
Okay. Is that the name of the guy, or is that why it's called? Okay.
It is. And I saw them play in Halifax in like 90, probably 96, because that was a great year.
Yeah.
And so it's just a 3-piece, like a power trio, right? And I think he's a guitar player too.
Yeah.
And so he comes out and he's dressed in a suit and he like dressed to the nines, right? Like he's there to break hearts. Yeah. And he comes out and he starts drinking milk.
What?
But he like it just like spills like all over him and like all over his body and onto his guitar and stuff. And it was very sexual experience.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
It was awesome though. Like it was just super powerful, and yeah, they kicked ass. And I've seen them 3 or 4 times since then, and they always put on an amazing show.
Cool.
And yeah, great band. Okay, and this is my last one, I think. This is a local band.
Still active?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, they broke up. When did they break up? I don't know. They broke up in like 2000, maybe.
Oh, shit.
So the band's called North of America. And I would classify them as like a post-hardcore band.
Okay.
This album's called These Songs Are Cursed.
Cool.
They got pretty big for a while there. They toured Europe a couple of times, and yeah.
They almost broke through and
almost broke through. I mean, it's post-hardcore, right? So it's not.
Yeah.
It's
none of those bands became huge, or at least not very many of them.
No. But yeah, they were definitely a super group in Halifax. Members of this band were in lots of other bands. And
okay.
I mean, they're all like.
I feel like most scenes are like that. You know, when you only have so many people to choose from, you gotta
definitely.
You gotta go with your friends and stuff.
I think they're all like in their early 50s now, so they're all have families and aren't playing in bands much anymore, if at all. But and they're all not around anymore. I think different cities and stuff. But they put out like 4 or 5 albums, all of which are good. This one's kind of always been my favorite. But
cool.
Yeah,
that's cool to have bands that, even if they're not still around, that's cool that, you know, people are still at least, you know, remembering them and stuff. And
yeah, I think they definitely have kind of a lasting impression, at least like in Halifax anyway.
Yeah, I mean, if only that's still something, you know.
Yeah,
it's cool for, you know, the town that you're in, or that you know grew up in, to not have forgotten you, and, you know, still have people like, you know, people like you're doing right now, you know, pulling out their CDs and stuff.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I could talk about local.
Sure, you're not the only one. Sure,
yeah.
You know, sure they have other people.
Yeah.
Well, that was cool.
Yeah, man.
Like I said, it was hard. I could have just chosen 10 Rush albums, or like 5 Rush albums, 3 Voivod albums, and like 2 Devin Townsend albums.
Yeah, there you go. There's your 10.
And I didn't want to do that. And it would have been a little bit more honest, but I just didn't want any one band taking the, back in the kimono days. You ever see the documentary on Netflix?
I've seen the one that Sam Dunn did.
Yeah, that one, like in the lighted stage, or through the lighted stage, or whatever.
That was a great.
It's really good. Yeah.
I think actually I might own it now that I think about it.
I need to get a copy of that. But my
Yeah.
favorite part from that is where they're talking about Rush was touring with UFO. Do you remember that? And so UFO, because there were UFO were the headliners, and UFO came out. They came out on stage, and they're all wearing bathrobes from the hotel, and so they're like making fun of Rush's kimonos. And
Well, pretty much the same thing. Yeah.
yeah, that's what they're doing. Yeah, they played
Yeah.
the show in their bathrobes, hotel bathrobes.
What were they thinking? I guess it was the 70s, right? So
I feel like there was kind of a thing because it wasn't only them that did it. There were like some other bands I think that wore kimonos, and
seems like a Deep Purple thing or something.
yeah, and then I'm pretty sure Triumph copied Rush, and I think they did kimonos too at one point.
Yeah.
I almost threw a Triumph album on here because I really like a couple other albums. I'm not a massive Triumph fan, but they're a really cool band for what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't get into them until recently, but I'm like, so many aspects of that band were like they were actually like their guitarist. He's actually a better guitarist than like most 70s guitar players.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, these guys probably should have been a little bit bigger. But
Oh, for sure. And they were I think a product of, like I was saying earlier, but
oh yeah, of
Canadian
Canada
bands
probably.
not being able to break out. Like
Yeah,
Canadian radio stations wouldn't play Canadian content.
that doesn't make any sense.
No. And now it's like legally they have to. There's a government organization
Gives
called
back to the
RTC
community, and
that, yeah, you have to play like I don't know if it's like 30 or 40% has to be Canadian content.
okay,
Maybe it's
that's
even
kind
higher
of
than
funny, but I didn't know that.
Yeah. Actually, that made me think of one other band I wanted to mention.
But if there's good bands, don't just skip them. Like just I don't know. I get it because you're going for numbers and stuff.
Yeah.
We want to play the stuff that's really huge, and
Yeah.
but still, come on, don't do that to your own scene.
Do you know this band?
I don't think so.
So Teenage Head. If I had to describe them, I would say they're like Canadians, the Canadian Ramones.
Oh, cool. I like the Ramones a lot.
Yeah, these guys are awesome.
Damn.
Sadly, the singer passed away a couple of years ago.
Okay.
Is
that 80s or?
Yes.
Okay.
This album's 1980, actually.
Oh,
they actually
put
out an album with Marky Ramone.
Oh shit!
It was like one of the last things they did.
It's badass.
Yeah. So, Frantic City is probably my favorite.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that one out.
Total Love. Check out the track Total Love. It's awesome.
Okay. Yeah, I dig the Ramones a lot. So
just check out that.
That's awesome. I like it. I like their costume. Well, I don't know if you call it costumes, but I like their clothes.
Yeah.
You got to have a cool stage gimmick, I think.
Yes, this album is from '81. You're Tearing Me Apart is probably the best track off this one.
Damn.
And unfortunately, this is another band that like they were like ready to make it huge, and they had a car accident on tour.
Oh no!
And it totally like no one got seriously injured, I don't think, but it totally wrecked their momentum.
Yeah.
And they kept going after that, but they never just got the momentum up again, and they never really.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, they never really made it big.
Scott said, "Isn't that 40% airplay how Nickelback got popular?"
No one really knows how they got popular.
Yeah.
But yeah,
funny. I remember Nickelback when they were like a smaller band. Actually, I find that weird that I remember that.
I think there's a lot of truth in that, though. They probably did. Yeah, they got.
Nobody seems to know. Nobody seems to understand how they got so big. Like, I don't think I've ever met a Nickelback fan.
They're a laughing joke in Canada.
Are they?
Yeah.
They're the creed of Canada now.
Oh man, yeah, it's nuts. I mean, back in the '90s, Much Music was, Canada's MTV, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure they played them on there all the time, played their videos and stuff.
Yeah, shit. I mean, we've had our more than our fair share of embarrassments, musical embarrassments. So I mean, it's not a weird concept to me at all. But it is always weird how did this band get so big? Yeah. Like I've never met a diehard Nickelback fan. Not one.
I've never even met anyone that said they liked them.
Yeah. So it's like was it just maybe at one time, and now they're afraid to admit it? Like people they don't want to talk about, oh, I was a Nickelback fan for a while.
I totally, like, it passed me by, because I think, like, they were doing, like, were they doing, like, the grunge rock thing? Like,
Yeah,
but
they started in
after it was
the very
popular,
early 2000s. They were like a post-grunge band.
when it
And
was, no one cared about that anymore.
yeah,
Right?
yeah, and they were, and they got, and they were like a sort of popular band. They're like one of those bands that were about to break, but they didn't for a while. It took them a good amount of time to like explode.
Because yeah, like at that point, I was already listening to metal.
Yeah, so it's like you just had no need to
No, I
to
never.
look into that.
I totally just never on my radar. So
Scott says his wife was a Nickelback fan, so there's one. We know one now. We know one Nickelback. Yeah. She must have bought a lot of their albums, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. How did they go platinum? I don't get it.
She bought the whole warehouse full.
All their wives and girlfriends were just buying all their albums and stockpiling them.
Buy these all. We'll pay you back when we get big.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. Nickelback jokes. They're almost just too easy.
They are.
They don't even count anymore.
No.
Well, anyway, man, I'm gonna go finish my pizza. What are you gonna do the rest of the night? It's late in your time, but
probably listen to music.
yeah, that's probably what I'll do too. Well, yeah, man, it was fun doing this as always.
Yep. Do it again sometime.
Yeah, there was a question I was gonna ask you, but now I forgot. I'll just, if it comes to my mind, I'll shoot you a message.
Sure. Yeah. Sounds good.
Of course, I'm not going to remember now. But anyways, thanks for everyone watching, and talk to you soon, man.
Yep.
Take care.
Definitely. See you. Have a good night.
You too. Later.
See ya.